So let's just settle into our meditation posture and just knowing that however it is you are showing up tonight, it's just perfectly fine. It's just where you're at right now. Take a nice deep breath. Feet planted on the floor if you are sitting in front of your computer, about hips width apart. And if you are in the regular cross-legged position, you can have your sits bones raised and the shoulders are aligned with the hips, ears with the shoulders, and just imagine your spine is lengthening in just a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. Just lengthening. Just imagine all the muscles along the back and also along the front of the spine as well. You know, we just think about our back or our front. We don't think that we do have muscles along the spine inside the body as well. So just all of this is lengthening. And the head is very slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. And just noticing any sounds in your environment, just allow them to be there. Try not to follow them with your mind. And then notice what's arising in the mind. Is it sadness or worry or concern or happiness or bitterness? And then just allow those thoughts forward, just without judgment. Because you might notice they change every day. We might have a theme going on in our mind, and then next week it's gone. I think our minds are a little fickle. So given that, just notice what's arising in the mind and look at it with some level of curiosity and interest, rather like a scientist might. And then we can put ourselves on the bank of our river, just watch that river flowing by and know that while we're sitting on the bank, we're safe. We're free. So then bring to mind all the people of your life, the ones you love, that you're close with, those ones you find a bit difficult. And then there's those strangers in our life. Remembering they could change place at any time. And then also thinking in terms of as we move on towards developing, some level of bodhicitta, we start simply with equanimity. And we all know how hard this one is. Trying to see everybody as your friend. It's not so easy. So we would think, to start, everybody wants to be happy. So we can't argue with that. We know everybody wants to be happy. And everyone wants to be free from suffering. So we're all kind of equal in those things. And harder for us to accept is this one of recognizing that everybody has phenomenal potential for an enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So just think, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is just, it's psychological. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can create positivity with our mind. We'll do that instead, Evan. So we think, we start with the power of regret. I regret from the depths of my heart anything I've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of this future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove these karmic seeds, for they ripen as future suffering for us. So you think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret the anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we start with refuge, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us necessarily. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit, however you see them, your guru, your teacher, whatever. But anyway, this is just the mind of that person. And I think it just makes it a little bit more personal for us. So you can imagine he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, which is born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings and the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you have harmed recently and maybe in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So this is just a wish for them to be free from suffering. And the harm or the suffering that they're going to experience is never sure when it's going to arise. So they make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. So imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is a purification of the speech. And Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with your speech. So the next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same again as when we walk into a pitch black room, we flick on that switch, that light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and grasping and neediness and disappointments and grudges and depression, anxiety, all of this completely disappears with this light as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta meboa sabasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So imagining Vajrasattva is sending light and nectar, and pours into you, fills you completely, and eradicates even those very, very subtle imprints of negative energy from your mind. It was very, very subtle. It's almost like a shadow of an imprint. But it just kind of gets rid of that last extra, like getting rid of the smell of garlic from a jar. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Now feel you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity is left in your mind stream. So you can just, even the subtlest, obscurations or blocks to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve and the final step in the purification process, a really crucial one. So it's the determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're just going to keep following the same old habits. We're just going to keep doing the same stuff. And this determination, this aspiration to not harm is kind of becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. And as we keep reaffirming to ourselves that, we want to change the way we think, we want to change the way we speak, the way we do things, it just kind of overrides the old habits that we have. It just takes time. We have to be patient, and do remember to rejoice in your successes, no matter how small. Every tiny weeny step, even if it's just a thought to I really want to do this differently, but somehow it doesn't happen. That's okay. You had the thought to do it. You had the idea. So it's got to start somewhere. So I think Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my Guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And we think a little bit about emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me can not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Tup Shul Chang Shin Jam Gan Galloway, Tenzin Kyang Pelaway, Kunzo Dog Porze, Chog Sum Kurway Leg Mon to Drub. Pa dag sog dulaje gondu jab tin shog. And Palama Ursul, Venerable One, to whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Share, a beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. Thanks for hosting, Mary. Lots of love, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.